yesterday in the NBA, it was insane. Now you might be wondering, what is wrong with my hat? Look, truth is, I'm wearing a Tampa Bay hat. I don't have any other Chicago hats, so I'm just going to wear a Tampa Bay hat backwards, okay? And hopefully Bulls fans don't come at me. Okay, so yesterday there was a lot of drama in the NBA. Yesterday was a night of terror, I guess you could say. Some people were calling it the Malice at the Palace Part 2, and the Kings also fired Luke Walton. So there was a lot of drama in the NBA happening all in one day, on a Sunday. Who would have thought? The most peaceful day of the week is getting people out the NBA. Okay, so we're going to go over the big story, obviously. So Kings finally fired Coach Luke Walton. Thank God. The Kings were struggling bad, and it seemed like Kings players just hated playing for Luke Walton. I mean, Buddy Hield had problems with him. Marvin Bagley had problems with him. And if you watch Kings games now, it's like De'Aaron Fox feels like he doesn't even want to be there. And if you watch Luke Walton's press conferences, he never really sounds like he knows what he's talking about. The guy seems a little bit lost, or he seems like he's taking way too long to help this team develop. Because, hey, like other YouTubers have said, this team is not a young team. They're not like the Orlando Magic, where it's a bunch of 20-year-olds. No, this team is a team with Harrison Barnes or De'Aaron Fox or players that know what they're doing on a night-in, night-out basis. The Kings, they've just been awful for the last God knows how many years. Since I started watching basketball, they've been bad. But look, now the question is, who do we bring in to help these guys? I really don't know. Who should the Kings bring in? Because it's like, yes, you have the players, you have the talent to make a run into the playoffs. I mean, Luke Walton was mediocre. He would get the team to like 10 games under 500. It wasn't really the best, but it was very average, to say the best. Luke Walton's time was horrible, so I'm very glad he's gone. Now, look, he is another man, so you don't wish another man to lose their job, but that was a really, really bad situation. I don't know why the Kings took so long. They took forever to fire him, but I'm just glad Luke Walton is finally gone. Kings fans, you can thank God. You can thank whoever you want to thank. You could just be happy now and be at peace that Luke Walton isn't your head coach anymore. Next, we had the Malice at the Palace Part 2. Okay, so watching back the video, you know, LeBron James, he's there, and it seems like Beef Stew is going to box out, and he's going to box out LeBron to get a rebound, right? Because it's a free throw attempt, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know who was shooting the free throw. I only watched, like, the second half of this game after LeBron got ejected. And then it seems like rebound goes, Beef Stew is boxing the hell out of LeBron to the point where, like, LeBron is just getting bulldozed. So LeBron, you see him, his hand, it's like this. It snatches back, pow! And then it hits him right here in the face. And then as soon as it hits him, you can see LeBron turn and be like, oh, my bad, my bad. And then Isaiah Stewart runs right up to him and he's like, oh. He's talking all that trash, talking all that smack to LeBron. And then all these people come, Isaiah Stewart, he's bleeding his eyes out, like his heart's about to come out of his eyeballs. And then he starts sprinting at LeBron. The dude, bro, the guy is Derrick Henry Part 2. I've only seen Derrick Henry run through that many people. Isaiah Stewart, give him an NFL contract. This did result in both him and LeBron getting ejected from the game, which was very, very significant considering that the Pistons were up by, like, I think it was 12 points at that point. So this was a huge loss for the Lakers. Thankfully, the Lakers did come back and they did win the game. Look, I'm not a Laker fan. I don't cheer for the Lakers. I don't really care for the Lakers. I did want the Pistons to win, but realistically, once we entered the fourth quarter and the Lakers were only down by 9 points, it was wraps. I knew the Lakers were going to win because, dude, Pistons, they're such a young team. It's so hard to keep veteran teams, champion experienced teams off of winning the game. I know that because I'm a Magic fan, and that happened to us against the Nets, where we were up by like 18, 20 points, and we lost the entire lead and lost the entire game. So in the end, you guys all have to realize that it was going to happen. But those, man, that situation was crazy. It was nasty. But it did make for some good moments. All right, next up, I didn't watch Clippers versus Mavericks too much just because it was early in the day. I had things to do. I was watching football. It's very hard to watch football and basketball at the same time, but I was watching football. But I did see the final play of this Clippers game with Reggie Jackson hitting that insane reverse layup. I mean, the guy goes up, and then he brings the ball around, and he makes the layup. That was an insane play. Reggie Jackson, I don't know how he's playing this year. I don't know if he's destroying it or if he's playing bad. I did hear he was having a pretty bad stretch, but he has recovered from it. Next up, I did watch some of the Bulls versus Knicks game, and that game was very, very weird, to say the least, because it's like, okay, the Bulls are up by 10. And we've seen what happens when the Bulls go up 10. They either blow out the team or blow the lead. It's one of the two. And look, I'm wearing a Chicago Bulls shirt today to represent how appreciative of the Bulls I am. This year, I'm a Bulls fan, honestly. Next year, I won't be a Bulls fan because we have the Bulls pick. So, I won't be a Bulls fan. We need another top 10 pick, even though I doubt that's going to happen. No, but in all seriousness, Chicago and New York, this is one of those matchups that I really like to watch because it seems like these two teams just don't like each other. They just don't like playing against each other. And every time their games have, it's like a high-tension game. Fights never break out, obviously. But it's like a high-tension, high wanting to win. Like both teams want to win really badly, and it's something I like watching. Now, one thing I will say that I did notice is every time that the Bulls would make a run, it felt like they were going to run away with it, but then the Knicks would just come back in and then do whatever they got to do or take the lead like 2 or 3 points, and then the Bulls would just run away with it again, back up 10, and then the Knicks would come back. It's all defense. The Knicks defense has really been struggling, and I mean they are improving. One thing I will say is Evan Fournier, Knicks fans, do you really like the guy? I think you're starting to see why Orlando Magic fans didn't like him. I don't look at him. He's up there on my wall. You see that? Look at that. Evan Fournier when we made the playoffs. Now you're starting to see why a lot of us Magic fans probably didn't love the guy. But one thing I will say is he will get better. He does get better as the season goes on. In the playoffs, he's complete trash. Moving on to Denver versus Phoenix. Denver is losing everybody. Michael Porter Jr. might not even play the rest of the season. That's how bad his back injuries are. And a lot of people were saying, oh, this is one of his biggest red flags coming to the NBA. He can't be healthy. He can't be healthy. And we're starting to see that back issue come back. And look, the issue with your back is whenever you injure your back, it's going to be re-injury, 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 especially when you're running so much, when you're having so many different movements playing basketball, that could really cause a problem in your back. Michael Porter Jr., I'm not going to say he's overpaid. He got a bag. He got a bag, and he deserves that bag. Maybe it's too soon. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But it's going to be hard for him. So the Nuggets did lose to the Suns, but hey, Nuggets barely have anybody right now. So, and lastly, we have Warriors versus Raptors, which this game I did not watch at all. I expected the Warriors to win by like 20 points, 15 points, and they did. And that's not a knock on Toronto. I did check the box score. Pascal Siakam dropped 21 points. He is coming back into his own. Hopefully, he can, instead of spinning right, he can spin left. You know, have 2 different spins. Okay, that joke is dead. Let me stop with No, but enough. Scotty Barnes, he played all right. He didn't play too great. But, man, in this game, Stephen Curry, he did nothing, really. Stephen Curry just let Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins take over. The two combined for 66 points against the Raptors, which is insane. The fact that you got to worry so much about Curry, and now you got Jordan Poole dropping 33 on your head and Andrew Wiggins dropping 33. That is, I'm telling you right now, the Warriors are my favorite to win the West. And I know it's super early. They've only been playing bad teams. They've only played a few great teams. And that's okay. That's expected. I mean, the Nets are struggling against good and bad teams. So in reality, every team is going to struggle right now. Some teams are going to have their own struggles. But I do believe the Warriors are going to be my pick. And hey, I love the Warriors. I don't care. I love the Warriors. That is going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate all the love and support. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified for every single time I upload. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.